episode of the Small Time Critics, and I am still with the venerable Gaz from Post Credit Scene Podcast and Mr. Japan himself, TRIZLUCENT, the king of pop culture. What are you saying, brothers?
Good, man.
All
good, man.
I'm in my kawaii, you know what I'm saying, mode right now.
Okay. Don't know what any of that means, but okay, cool. So, as you can see from the thumbnail, guys, we are going to be chopping it up about a very important film of the year, a film that is slowly becoming an awards race.
It's taking over, bruv.
Movie.
I can't scroll anything without seeing something we can relate it.
Yes, exactly.
But Glicked.
Yeah, they're boying it, man.
They're trying to capture, you know what I mean, lightning in a bottle, and it's not possible, and they never will be able to do it, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think, I'll be real, I don't think Gladiator or Wicked are good enough to be even a Barbenheimer phenomenon anyway.
Wicked's better than Barbie.
Damn, he's like, oh, I don't know.
I'm not too, I think they're more or less, I think they're...
No, I think Wicked's better.
Yeah,
I didn't care about the Barbie storyline. I should have. I feel like I maybe should have, but I didn't. Yeah.
That's a good point because...
A gooder point.
Yeah. We can make up words, why not?
Because Cynthia Erivo was fantastic. And,
you getting into it, yeah?
And I'm going to basically... Let me lay my cards on the table. The way this film, I think, is being critically received is that Ariana Grande's Glinda character is going to probably get the Oscar or be nominated for an Oscar. And there's no kind of conversation about Cynthia Erivo's character.
I think it depends on depends on where you're seeing and it speaks to like the interesting space that we're currently in, right? If you're talking from like a old media perspective or like traditional media, which is probably the better way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Then yeah, Ariana Grande is getting all the plaudits and the credit, and in many respects, it's fully deserved. Like I think she was superb in the film, like hilarious.
Yeah,
portrayed like the quirky, witty, sort of blonde princess thing brilliantly and sang superbly as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything different.
But I think the problem is to traditional media, I'm not giving Cynthia Erivo any like whatsoever, which speaks to like the traditional media. For whatever reason, they don't like her character. She's a black woman, she's a woman. Whatever the reason is, and it's probably all three and more, she's not getting any like, despite the fact she's essentially the main character and the story and the heart of the story is her transition from A to B. I think within the space of and our job, I guess, as critics, as people that want to talk about film and TV, we don't have these biases, especially as a black man myself.
Yeah.
So we're going to just review the film for what it is. And if Cynthia deserves to be heralded for a performance, we'll do that because there's no biases. Obviously, we're not traditional media. We can speak how we want to speak, and there's no one holding us back and telling us to have certain views.
Yeah.
So Cynthia was incredible, and she deserves like spotlight for that because, especially from the vocally, like. Bro.
Oh my days!
I heard her singing is top tier in this.
Top tier. I think for me, like everyone was talking about the Popular song and Defying Gravity.
Popular's harder.
Popular was hard.
I've probably heard the songs, but I've never heard the songs.
I've heard them in like an ASDA one afternoon probably, but I didn't
care because I've never seen the show, never seen the theatre, never seen the stage, none of it.
But Defying Gravity,
yeah, crazy.
That's a bop, first of all, and second of all, Cynthia hits those high notes, and some of the camera work by
John M.
Chu, like, and some of the transitions were very good. And there's one where like she's on top of that tower thing, and it's just literally her in a shot, and thankfully, like Ariana Grande's Glinda character gets out of the way, and we just see her, you know what I mean, taking the whole frame, about to fly off, and quote unquote defy gravity.
Is it that scene? Obviously, I've only just seen. I haven't watched the movie. I was away now. I was on holiday, so I missed the media, Prem, I missed everything. So, anyways, I have seen some scene where it's Reva's character, and she's like jumping off, and it's like her cape like takes up the whole screen.
Bro, it's
Is that the?
That's what I'm talking about.
That scene looks sick.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. It was so good. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy we're talking about that, like one of the last scenes of this ending, but it's just so tantamount to how good the film was. The fact that the narrative was actually decent. I think the Wicked storyline isn't like the strongest, and I believe probably the songs and all the performances of people on the Broadway play probably sustain and give it its popularity. The actual story beats.
It's not like the most career-defining story you've come across. Like it's fun.
You was talking to Oscar a second ago. You just said
no.
that.
The reason I'll go into that. I'll go into the reason why it's going to get Oscars later on.
I think the premise of the story is, I think making Cynthia Elphaba adds layers to it though.
Now this is why I thought, first of all, great casting, and the layers you're talking about, the fact that obviously this is a very, very ham-fisted allegory about xenophobia and kind of race relations, all that kind of stuff, and I'm not giving any negatives for that, because again, it's more kind of like aimed at children for them to understand obviously these things are wrong, stuff like that. Like, cool, I could be fine with that. But the layers that it has is the fact that you have Cynthia Erivo playing the character, and her skin color being different to so many other people and stuff like that, and then that is very interesting, and that was something that I was hoping they would get into a lot more, and they're very, very surface level with it.
But as you said, the market is kids.
Yeah.
No, that's not right to say. I wouldn't say the market is kids, but they want it to be as palatable to as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is what I think.
You want a broad range. So you want it to reach enough audiences. I understand.
Yeah.
And I think it also then speaks to what we're currently seeing with Cynthia herself, like the way she's being treated. And I think anyone to deny that it's part of it is to do with how she looks in terms of her being a black woman would be stupid. Yeah. I'm not saying that's the entire reason why she's been ostracized from like the spotlight from traditional media, but it's part of it for sure.
I mean, she's quite I don't want to say she says controversial stuff, but she will definitely speak her mind.
From what I haven't seen too much.
I've seen the interview. People
have said that. Yeah, I haven't seen too much of that. Anything I've seen of her has been pretty positive, but I have heard that.
She'll call you out ASAP.
Yeah.
So I think maybe traditional media wise that doesn't help. Maybe I'm just speaking. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes that might have something to do with it. Maybe they're like, Ariana. Come on.
No, for me, I think it's unfair of me to say this, but I think about probably an hour into it, I was feeling like this is very kind of like Great White Hope, kind of like the white savior complex in Galinda and Ariana Grande's character. But as the film develops, she kind of like goes into the, not background, but she goes to the side.
Yeah.
And then Cynthia's character kind of just takes the fall. You know what I mean? And then you see her taking agency and stuff like that. And that's when I was really, really kind of connecting with
and you also see both characters develop. Like Glinda remains Glinda. She is a bit ditzy and she's very quirky and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But you see the development in her where she's like quite admirable of, and she always was admirable of Elphaba, to be honest, from the beginning. But it was also very self-sufficient all for her. Like she wanted what Elphaba had. She wanted to be seen by the headmistress, Michelle Yeoh. I forgot her, Miss something. Anyway, I forgot her name.
Yeah.
As the film develops, as you said, the characters actually develop as people as well. Fiyero develops. Although I think they could have delved into that more, but we do see like Fiyero, Elphaba and Glinda sort of develop as human beings. So I think it was
that guy was a good actor, man. He did that well.
Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bridgerton.
Well, he was in Bridgerton.
Yeah.
So isn't that a bit like same kind of role-ish for him?
He does play like the handsome man who, you know, everybody fancies sort of thing. He plays that role quite often.
He was good in it, man. He showed like
handsome man.
Where is you gonna go with that, bro?
He's gonna probably like tie in the fact you're a model setting, probably. But he's gonna probably do that, innit?
Carry on.
Yeah. But I thought he was pretty good, and I thought his scenes with what's Cynthia's character's name again? Elphaba were great. Like him when they like go into the kind of forest and they take that lion cub, and then them
chemistry was there. Still.
Chemistry was there, man.
Lion cub.
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know
Wait, young lion.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to. You know what I mean? That could be wicked too. You know
what?
Yeah, bro.
Oh my days.
We don't know. And again, what did you think of Peter Dinklage as the GOAT?
I didn't know it was him. You know.
You didn't know it was him?
I only found out. Ken told me after. I was like, oh right, it's him. Peter Dinklage is just Peter Dinklage, isn't it?
He killed that, man.
Yeah, like, he's just Peter Dinklage. He's like, yeah, no shocks.
So silly, by the way.
No notes.
Like the character's playing is so silly. Like when you see it, it's ridiculous, but he makes it work.
Fantastic actor. He can do anything.
Yeah, it's true. He can do anything.
No notes, man. He's quality.
How was fuck, what the hell is this guy's name again?
Jeff.
Yeah, Goldblum. How was he?
Same. I think he just plays the same role.
Jeff being Jeff, and that's been an issue for the last Chaos. He played a bit of a dirtbag, which is a bit different for him. But even then, I could see Jeff in the performance still. kind of thing.
It was just him.
That's one of the problems with that. Everything I've seen this guy is playing the same guy every time.
Yeah.
There's a movie with Dave Bautista. Was Dave Bautista in it, I think? I don't know, but he plays like some kind of underground like mob boss or something like that, and they're trapped in like a hotel, and it's just Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum again. And that movie's old.
Yeah. So obviously, for me, Jurassic Park goated. His performance in that is goated. But then even Independence Day, loved him in Independence Day, to be fair as well. But then him, I think, since you can kind of track it since Thor Ragnarok, he's just been the same. He's been, that works. Let me just copy and paste that.
Good place to cap it out. You're right.
I think it's probably that, innit? You know what I mean? But again, didn't really give me anything new, and you could kind of see the heel turn coming a mile away.
I could also see Michelle Yeoh. I could tell there was something off with her character quite early.
Yeah, you could see it a mile away. But again, I'm not kind of gonna give it like take any points away because.
No, it's not her performance. It's just sometimes you can see certain trends in the film and I can see where this character is heading towards. I can see this sort of flipping on who I think she is. Yeah. Rather than it was because she was badly portrayed. No, Michelle Yeoh is incredible, man.
What do you think of the dance numbers, the songs? For me, I'm not gonna lie to you. Musicals I like to an extent, but when people are singing, like when they're walking across, like through the kitchen, and they start singing, "I'm walking through the," you know what I mean? That's too much. When people are just singing, like from going from one place to another or something.
In the musical, though, bro.
But the scenes that work the most when people are acting and talking, you know what I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah, both Cynthia and Ariana scenes where they were acting and singing at the same time were really, really good. Their chemistry was...
Or even, what do you call it, Alphaba and her dad.
Oh, yeah.
Those scenes were great when they just literally, you could see how bad the relationship is between them. And I was just thinking to myself, thank God they're not singing it. You know what I mean? So, but then... Do
you think that's one of your issues with the film, though?
My issue with the film is obviously that, as well as also the fact that I felt like the movie was like two different halves. Like the first half was like Galinda's half, and then like the second half was like kind of like, you know what I mean, Alphaba. That's kind of what it felt like to me.
Why is that a bad thing?
Because Alphaba was way more compelling than Galinda, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I felt like Ariana Grande as Galinda singing and performing, outstanding. But her kind of story didn't interest me as much as Alphaba. Because again, all I want to see is how Alphaba is developing and growing and is going to quote unquote become the Wicked Witch of the West. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see.
But it's Alphaba's... The way they set the film up, I guess, it's Alphaba's story through Glenda's eyes. Right? So we're seeing it from her perspective.
Yes.
So it would naturally make sense for like, whether we agree that technical decision was right, it would make sense. Once they've made that decision, it would make sense for the first part of it at least to be focused more on Glinda as a character, because we're seeing it from her perspective, her wanting what Alphaba has, as well as the fact that they were
her being jealous of her from the very start, to
them becoming sort of friends, but still I'd say still somewhat envious, I guess, to some extent. But you see that friendship develop over time, and their chemistry was so good on screen, man. Like,
it was, and also the fact that the film starts in the future. You know what I mean?
I don't think they needed to do that though.
They didn't, and that's another issue.
I could have saved like 10-15 minutes.
I couldn't, like, when a film started and they just started down, oh my God, and then they went back, I was like, oh my God, they did. And I was telling myself, at the end of this film, that scene was not needed. And I was right.
Well, yeah, we could have just had them start with them in school, or the scene where Alphaba is a child and They could have started there. And
the way she's going to become an industry plant, and we see that from the very start. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous, bro. You know what I mean?
But I like the premise of Alphaba's story, because essentially it's like no one has ever appreciated her for who she is, despite how powerful and talented she is. Like, she's been talented and skilled from a very young age, and no one can see what she has beyond how she looks, which I think just speaks to real world situations where like people can't see the human being, they can't see how good somebody is. They can only see the aesthetic. They can only see if someone's
judging a book by its cover.
Yeah, whether someone's pretty to look at or someone's nice to look at, whether they're aesthetically pleasing rather than there's more to somebody. There's actually nuance to her. Her father couldn't see how amazing she was, despite the fact that her sister has a disformity or can't walk, right?
Yeah.
But he still heralded his daughter and loved his daughter.
Because she quote unquote looks normal and quote unquote looks lighter. You know what I mean?
When he was essentially the cause of his daughter having the disformity anyway.
Yeah. Exactly.
But he still blames his his older daughter. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. You know what I mean? The sins of the father, as they say.
I also have an issue with the third act. When they get to Emerald City, I think I tapped out of the film a bit. I didn't care about that as much because it seemed to have less of a focus on Elphaba's sort of stories, like her getting to the city, that it's more like Jeff Goldblum's character. And
so yeah, I agree with you. Like for me, I was kind of like taking a bit of break from the film. And I mean, I kind of like mentally checked out. But then once she got to Oz, i.e. Jeff Goldblum, that's when I got interested and I locked in for the rest of the film.
Okay, I even that part I was a bit. It's only when we see Michelle Yeoh's character sort of unravel and we find out that the Jeff Goldblum's character was as probably the leading corrupt figure within the world that I was like, I'm back in. I like this because it ties into like politics and corruption and people sort of utilizing power for their sakes rather than harnessing somebody's power. So like Michelle Yeoh's character, I forgot her name, so do forgive me, people. She shows an interest in Elphaba from the get-go, right?
From the very start.
But it's all self-serving. It's not because you're an ostracized young woman who's got a talent that I really think is worth harnessing. It's like,
we can use you.
Well, we can use you for our gain. And it's like, I really like that aspect of sort of the storytelling as well. Yeah,
and it's interesting, this whole kind of film is basically a fight for control of the the quote unquote kingdom. You know what I mean? And so that was interesting, the fact that like when the Wizard of Oz, Jeff Goldblum was like, we can use the monkeys as spies, and then Elf was like, spies. She goes, maybe people that can, report to us.
Her whole thing is like she's against animal cruelty, innit? And she wants animal rights and so on. So that was a continuous theme for her, pretty much throughout the film.
Yeah, and there's a whole kind of theme throughout the whole film is like animal rights, all that kind of stuff, and just equality and all that kind of good
messages
stuff.
For kids anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
Good messages for young people.
And to obviously have people that are so kind of like black and white, evil kind of thing and stuff like that, I thought worked for that kind of part, because again, it kind of shows a clear delineation between, what Elphaba's been doing throughout the whole film and kind of the reveal of kind of what Jeff Goldblum and kind of Michelle Yeoh's characters are doing kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Defying Gravity, goodness me, that's how you end a film, man. Honestly, I couldn't believe how good that was, man.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? And Popular was pretty good.
I think it's hard, man.
Popular was good. It was good. And Ariana Grande, like the physical kind of stuff she was doing, like literally swinging from the chandelier, all that stuff. It is quite good. You know what I mean? But Defying Gravity was clear. It's clear. By the way, this film at this year's Oscars wouldn't win anything for music, by the way, because none of the songs are original.
Oh, okay.
In the second film, there's going to be original songs. You know what I'm saying? And that actually gets me to my next point and final point, actually, before we do our STC score. This film has been slowly kind of propelled into Oscar race kind of status because of what's happening in America. I think I told you while you're in Japan, didn't I? About Wicked and the fact that this is, I told you, didn't I?
You did. Briefly,
so
yeah.
In America, quote unquote, traditional media are trying to put this film on a pedestal of Oscar worthy because of the American election and how negative that space is right now in America. Sorry, guys. And they're basically saying we need something positive. The Academy is saying we need something positive. Like the voters are saying we need something positive to kind of vote for and to kind of get behind and have Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo at the ceremony and all that kind of stuff to show equality, to show that, we're thinking about positivity and we agree with the themes and messaging of the film and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I watched the film and I'm like, this is not an Oscar-worthy film. You know what I mean? And it's a decent film. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong.
I think it's better than decent.
But is it meant to be up there with, June?
Depends on specific categories though, right?
I'll get into it.
What categories would it fit into?
So this film would most likely win below the line awards, but would it win best best screenplay, best directing, best acting?
Oh, directing! It could be a nominee. I think for directing, it could be a nominee.
I can't give him an Oscar for transition.
See, you're saying something different to what I said. I'm not saying it's going to be a winner.
Yeah,
I'm saying I could see it being
nominated.
nominated. I think that's feasible.
Okay, interesting.
I don't think
Maybe
it would.
best costume design.
Yeah, I could see that.
They built the whole set.
Best sets.
Best sets. Again, you could see that actually filmed on sets and not on like.
They literally built.
Yeah, no, I know they built a lot of the sets
Because that's like 160 million film, isn't it? So
yeah. So again, like I said, a lot below the line stuff, I guess
Ariana will be up as well. She will.
Well, yeah, it will be, but
She will.
Will Cynthia be there?
Should be. Should she be nominated? I think Ariana was better in the film, in my honest opinion.
Really?
I do.
Explain it. Why?
I just really enjoyed her performance. I thought she was funny. I really just enjoyed the way she characterized Glinda. Now, Glinda, Elphaba's story is more compelling, and I think Cynthia did an incredible job. So I don't want it to seem like I'm taking away from Cynthia whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed Ariana. Maybe it's also the element of surprise. Well, I didn't expect Ariana to be what I thought was as good as she was. Yeah. Whereas with Cynthia, I had an expectation a bit more of a good acting performance at the very least and a superb vocal. The vocals didn't even surprise me. That was that was expected. Yeah, throw that way. Expected.
Yeah.
Respectfully, obviously. But with Ariana, I was like, wow, this performance put me off guard. And I really enjoyed the Glinda character.
She's known for acting though. Ariana's been acting from a young child.
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
Yeah, but I've never paid
fair enough.
attention.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no.
I guess for me, like, it's kind of mad. She's gonna get an Oscar for doing that thing with her hair, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh, her fan base is gonna go nuts.
Like, and that's the thing, and that's the thing that's a bit sad for me because, like, everything you just mentioned about Ariana, I think Cynthia did that plus extra as well. You know what I'm saying? Because she had to play different modalities as an actor, as someone who's not only being a strong person who's independent and kind of like believes in themselves and wants to kind of be great, but also someone that is vulnerable and someone that's overcome so much hardship to get to where she is.
Man.
You know
I'm not even disagreeing with you.
Whereas Glinda has had a fantastic, like literally from the start, she's had people carry all her bags for her. She gets her own wing,
but she still had
stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Not to disagree with what you're saying, but you're kind of like excluding that she did have character development as well.
No, she did.
It's not like she was just a completely one-note character where it was throughout the film she was this popular princess who has everything given to her, handed to her on a plate. Over the time, we see that her character sort of becomes a bit more empathetic and sympathetic and understanding, especially the dancing scene and the hands in the side and all that. It was a bit weird to me, but it made sense. Yeah. Cynthia was showing she's different. Not Cynthia. Elphaba was showing she's different and so on and so forth. And Glinda was like empathizing with her in that particular moment. I think that was like this trigger for her, right? Because Elphaba spoke to the headmistress and was like, give her tutoring as well or something.
Bring her in the kind of like the.
But at the same time, Glinda had played that trick with the hat and so on and so forth. So that was like the trigger, and I think we see the change in her character. But I do agree with you. Cynthia has a lot more to do because she has to show a wider range of emotions. Yeah, I'm just saying, for like what I enjoyed from the film, I really enjoyed Glinda's character from the portrayal of Ariana. But that doesn't mean that Cynthia wasn't like better. Yeah. Those are like two different things. And I can really understand if people were like, it makes sense if people like Cynthia performed better because there's a lot more to do with her character. I just really enjoyed what Ariana gave me, partly but probably because I didn't expect it. Yeah, I'm glad you could put all those qualifiers to it. But for me, like a lot of the kind of discourse and a lot of the traditional media are basically completely disregarding all of the things that you said about Cynthia, and simply because of the amount of kind of like fans that Ariana has, the fact that, again, she's much more palatable. And Cynthia's a black woman. You know what I mean? Like, let's have it frank and honest. Cynthia's black. Yeah, black woman, and short hair. Yeah, she's much a short woman, short-haired woman. But she's got a look in it, a defining look. And I know sometimes for people that's hard for them to digest. It's not palatable. Yeah, and that's wrong way to. It's not palatable to traditional media. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. And that's kind of the sad thing for me. And Cynthia's voice is incredible. Like that's why Defying Gravity like won the film. Like I was like, I hear it, man. I was checking out that film, and when Cynthia started cooking, I was back in, bro. And I really enjoyed the distinction, and it's natural because they're both different singers, but it was very clear based on who their characters were, the way Ariana sang and the way Cynthia sang, and a lot of more Cynthia's vocal performance came from a place of pain and a place of struggle, which she depicted very powerfully, sorry, but vulnerably at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas Ariana's was a lot more like cheerful, high notes, but also performed superbly. But yeah, Cynthia, Defying Gravity. Bro, listen, I want Cynthia to get her flowers. That's why anything I've done in terms of reviews and stuff, made sure to like have her name there. Not just because, black woman ally, but also because she deserves it. She was great.
100%. 100%.
Especially if other people ain't going to do it, we have to do it.
100%, bro. Triz, you're going to see this, right?
Yeah, bro. If I wasn't in Japan, bro, I would have watched it. But
yeah,
I've been away, man. I've been away. And if I was going to watch it in Japan, I would have had to watch it in Japanese. With no subtitles.
So, God.
There's no English subtitles in Japan?
Where I was staying, there was no cinema that was doing it in English.
Wow.
So if I was going to watch it, it would have been in Japanese. So I was just like...
What, they would have dubbed the Japanese?
Bro, everything's already dubbed already, bro. It's just ready to go.
Wow. Did not know that.
But you know, see, I was taking a picture of a lot of cinemas, you know. Every cinema I went, I was like, do you have it? He's like, yeah, you got it. Okay. Is it Japanese? Safe.
That's hilarious, man. But yeah, Gaz, what's your STC score for this?
I have it like I always, just to be clear, I have an initial score, and then over time my score always for the most part tends to drop by like a 0.5 or a whole point, just because as time you start to picture more flaws and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
The only film that I would say that didn't fit that was The Batman, which kind of went up in my estimation. I'd give this film an 8 as it stands.
8?
Yeah, like a low 8, just the foundation 8.
Yeah.
That might change over time, but yeah, I have the film high. Yeah, good film.
I hear it. No, I hear it. For me, this is a 7.
Okay, so there's not much of a difference.
Not much of a difference, but to be fair, like I was a 6.5 up until Defying Gravity.
Okay.
And this could even still go down if I see it again, because I may have to see it again with my nieces next week. So I may go down because of that.
Might go up. Based on their
may go up. You never know. Some lemon berries.
I do think also the start just didn't need. It wasn't bad. It just didn't need to be there.
Yeah, it didn't need to be there at all. I mean, I kind of wish I was late. I could miss that. But yeah, man. No, thanks, guys. Appreciate it, man.
No stress, dog.
Guys, please let us know what you thought in the comments down below. Like, make sure you subscribe, do all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Bell notification, all of that good stuff. And let us know what you think.
Yes, sir.
And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.